And welcome everybody to a very special episode. Let me get this Twitch stream down. There we go. Awesome. So welcome everyone. This is a very special edition of Cloud Forum's Who's Got Clout. Well, it's actually a special event announcing one of our favorite NFT creators and all around just one of the most amazing creative humans that I've had a chance to sit and chat with for a long time. So the gentleman that I'm talking about is the Mr. BobbyDigital42. So Bobby, how you doing this morning?
Hey man, I'm good. It's actually 5 p.m. here in California.
Yeah.
So I'm good, man.
It's that joy of time traveling, right? I'm bringing in it's New Year's Eve here, 9 a.m. over in Perth, Western Australia.
Nice.
So Bobby, just before we jump in, man, to give everyone, if they haven't come across your work before, so Bobby, you know, this is a really big moment where we're having you on and celebrating with Cloud Forum to announce a lot of cool things that you're working on. But it's a big moment for a lot of reasons, right? You've had a very interesting, colorful history that's brought you to this point. And this is one of the first podcast interviews. I think it's the second one you were saying you've done. And the first time we get to see your face. So it's the unmasking of Bobby Digital. Yeah. Everyone gets to see what's behind the project.
Yeah, I remember.
So
go ahead.
No, man, jump.
Oh no, I was saying, you know, I was thinking about hiding my face with ski mask, and then we spoke about it. I was like, nah, actually, it's a good time to reveal. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's something about DeSo, right? And just BitClout, Diamond, everyone that gets in this community that kind of draws that authentic, that kind of connection, that intimacy out, right? It's nice to be able to feel connected to each other.
And you know, on the internet, a lot of people like to be anonymous and kind of go with your avatar and stuff. But you know.
It's a whole new world. So Big shout out to everyone who's tuning in live. I know we got quite a lot of crew around the world right now, all pretty excited about what's happening on the platform, what's to come, and all the things you're bringing to the table. So we're going to be looking at all the different projects you've been working on, from one, which is an amazing digital, basically like virtual card, the business card, which has been game changing, is going to be really exciting. We've got Sacred Skulls, an NFT project that we've got some pretty exciting news with your generative launch. So if you're watching live, if you're watching live now, you're watching the replay, make sure you watch right to the end, because we are going to have a giveaway at the end, which something you really don't want to miss out on, because you've been very generous there, Bobby. And yeah, you've got a lot of other things we're working on, we'll touch on. So if you're watching the live stream, please be checking it out on YouTube or Twitch, where we'll be keeping track on those comments and questions and things, and bringing it in where we can. But yeah, we got a lot to cover. So let's start at the start, Bobby.
All right, man, let's go.
How did it all begin, my brother? I know when we first had our chat, we kind of bonded a bit over, both being 80s children, in the early days with the internet. So what's your story like? How did you find yourself coming to DeSo, to blockchain, to NFTs? Where did that all begin in the early days?
Well, I've been into tech startups for probably about over 10 years now. I'm a UX UI designer, graphic designer, so that comes with the territory. So I'm always an early adopter too. So I'm always looking for new stuff. But it all happened from Clubhouse, where I think a large majority of DeSo OGs came from. Back in around when I guess it was March, right?
Back in March.
So yeah, it was Clubhouse. I was in there a lot from like February till like about May. Like now I jump in a little bit here and there, but I'm not really. I spend more of my time in Discord and Diamond app and Twitter and everything. I went deep down the DeSo rabbit hole when it was Big Clout. So that's where it came from. It's Clubhouse rooms and just being in there and listening and hearing everyone talk about it. And it was really crazy around March, April, May, I think, in the Clubhouse rooms. So
it was pretty wild. I mean, that was super active.
Yep.
Mm. So what was it about DeSo that you recognized? What was it that got you to kind of say yes to it, jump in and still be here? 10 months in or whatever it is now.
Yeah, so Ali, my co-founder, and we were looking into creator coins, like Rally and Roll and other ways, what's next with the creator economy and stuff, and Web3, and not so much decentralized social, like the social part, but more about creator economy, the next wave. And we were looking into that. And then obviously when Big Clout came along, I was really, intrigued. And I think I just was watching for about 3 months, March, April, May, around there. And, eventually I convinced Ali that we need to jump in. And, it wasn't really easy to build the first 2-3 months. There was no real API access or stuff, we were in closed beta with one. And then we decided to do our, I guess, private beta with DeSo only July 1st. So that was the first time we opened up. And, that was our way of, testing, getting feedback, reiterating, and figuring out how we can integrate Web3 tools into our, our platform, which is kind of like a Web3 link tree, but more than that, it's more like a phone book / ID card / business card for the entire internet. So as a brand or a personal brand or someone who's creating content like you are in YouTube and stuff, right? You have this, you have multiple channels on the whole internet, and that's how you distribute your content, and that's how you get reach. And that's, and another thing about DeSo is, when people post online on these other Web2 social networks, they don't really own any of that data whatsoever, unless you're on Patreon or something, so this is a whole new game changer for everything, for a content creator, for owning your identity online, and from the gate. So anything you post, you're making money immediately, from diamonds or creator coins, or from your founder reward, or making an NFT and having the social integrated to the NFT, which is crazy. So everything that keeps happening. It's like, I know it's a long-term vision, but I'm very patient on how they roll things out, and it's one step at a time. There's a ton of work. If you started a startup, and you've been a co-founder or created any type of startup whatsoever, you understand the building process takes time, and there's constantly a ton of shit behind the scenes that you have to do, aside from the marketing and the front end of it,
Absolutely.
So I'm excited for Q1 of 2022 and all the new stuff that they announced, and it's gonna be incredible, man, with smart services and all that stuff. It's exciting as fuck, so I'm ready for it.
Absolutely, man. I think Nada dropped that the kind of the roadmap for Q1 and what they're looking at, and it's pretty unreal, right? Because I mean, in a sense, this is for all the artists and creators out there, it's like that's one thing I've loved about this. DeSo is really just laying out the tools, right? It's like, hey, let's give you a spread of brushes you can use. Let's get the different colors. Let's get the paints, and it's like all these tools, all these things that are being built on top. It's nonstop. Which brings us to kind of one of the, what you've already mentioned in a sense is one. And actually, I'll tell you what, Bobby, how about, I want to bring this up. And by the way, everyone who's, see if I can get one up here and share it for the community. So it's one.vc. Is that the website that's best to send people to?
Yeah, WUN.VC. So it's an acronym. It means Worldwide United Network. So it's one virtual card, so it's a short URL, so that the whole point is to spread, your link in your bio. So it's,
So this is it here. So this is it. If you guys haven't seen it, and this is the thing, Bobby, one of the reasons that, Alex and I, love doing these podcasts and these episodes and getting so much out there is there is so much being built, right? There's so much action happening out in the community, but it's one of the hardest things, I guess, is discovery, actually having the time to be able to look at all these things. So right here, just even when you first open one, what hits me is how much it just connects as something that feels like it's a natural part of Web 3.0. You've got the colors, you've got the design, like you can really see your talent coming out. But I think your line right here, your virtual ID card for the metaverse. In the future, everyone will own their digital identities using blockchain technology.
So one of the things it's funny is like, I was using the word metaverse about 2 years ago. And a lot of the people that, my tech friends that I was showing to, they're like, man, no one's going to know what the metaverse is. No one's going to know. And I was like, but it's the next thing. Like, that's what's happening. That's going to come. I'm always like on the forefront of what's coming down the road. And so when you're trying to use these terms and these words, and now look at it, when Facebook comes out with Meta, and metaverse this, metaverse that, and now it's kind of like a household name thing, so it lined up perfectly. And another thing about our landing page is on, I think somewhere around the first 2 weeks of January, we're going to create a whole new landing page that better describes exactly what the platform is and stuff. We're real early, and I'm really patient with how we roll things out. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We have about, I think, close to 700 cards, users from DeSo, and we're about to open up to Twitter and Instagram using their APIs to authenticate your identity and then get you, as an onboard into DeSo through our platform. So we really want to help create like a funnel to get more content creators and people into the DeSo blockchain, but kind of, not necessarily throw them into the wolves. We want to hold their hand and guide them into what this is, what does this do, what is this, and then they have like an understanding, and then they can get into DeSo through one. Because that's a lot of things. A lot of these celebrities or influencers will come to Diamond App or BitClout, and they'll be like, the engagement's not there, or they don't even invite the real fans from the other social networks because it's a little dangerous. That it can hurt them if they don't really protect their fans in a way, because it's so early. We're only 9 months into this. We really got to focus on user experience and retaining the users we get, because we have daily actives and all these stats. But the Web3 and crypto and blockchain and all these things are very scary to people who aren't web native. They're just one bad experience can trigger them. So you have to think about that, and right now we have a lot of really smart people, the core OGs and stuff, who are really here to build this out and help each other, so.
Yeah, absolutely, Bobby. I think you've touched on so many of the most important things to be aware of for people that are on the platform right now. There's a lot of, where is everyone? We want more people in, bring more people in. And it's a bit like, I was sharing with Kat, we had Kat Ramdeen from Supernatural on the podcast last year. We were talking about the other day. Right. And she is one of the Sacred Skulls members. So big shout out to you, Kat. And we're talking about, like it really is like a festival, like turning, a week before a festival, right? Whether it's a big rave or a big whatever it is, people, it takes time to build the festival, right? For weeks before, volunteers are coming, they're building the stalls, they're putting the signs up, they're putting the decorations in place. Before that, it's just a bush or it's just a piece of land. And then as it starts building, it starts taking shape. If you invite everyone to come to that festival 1 week early, it's going to be a shit show, right? It ain't going to go well. And so it's kind of like right now, the most amazing opportunity is that just like being at a festival a week early, I used to do circus work and performing and things at them. And one of the best parts was you get to meet the celebrities, man. I got to get, next to the Wailers, Bob Marley and the Wailers, obviously without Bob, but, you get to be amongst really amazing creators in that intimate situation and get to make those networks, just like you and I are doing right now, just like everyone out there is watching this has this opportunity. And I think that's what really, I started paying close attention to it once we started our conversation about this podcast. And when I started really looking at one properly and talking to you and understanding what it is, I realized just how incredible it is as a virtual card where you can, like you say, it's that one point where we can converge and find each other. And from there, you can go anywhere on DeSo, anywhere in Web3, anywhere around, right? And I think that's going to be such a vital part for connecting.
One of the things that, like, my main focus, I've been using the internet since '95, right? I'm a dinosaur. And so Web 1, Web 2, the forums, all that stuff before social networks, internet relay chat, all these things, AIM, like these are the early days. And if you're on the internet, you can create long-term value by owning your network, dude. It's like, I have a brand called Aerosol Fiends, right? I've had it for about 15, 16 years now. And there's about, I don't know, I haven't checked, but like maybe over 16,000 followers on Instagram, and I've always suffered. I mean, I struggled to try and get them into a database and be like, this person's following me. They have 1 million followers. Like, why didn't I know that? It's like, it opens a connection to maybe possible synergies with the business move or something, And so most people don't have the time to even look at who their Twitter followers are, even if you have 300, but there's a lot of people in there who might be someone that you can work with and you just don't even know it. So I'm really trying to build one as your, this is my link in my bio. This is me and the entire internet, whether I'm in VR or Web 2 or over here, over there, it doesn't really matter. That way, anywhere you are, people can come and collect your card. And now they're going to be updated every time you go to a new social network. If there's a new one that pops up next week and you post it, they're going to know that you're there now too. So they can go and interact with you, So we're building a lot of really cool features and tools to help you, get some real value from your network long-term, So if you're going to drop you're going to drop a new album and you can just reach everyone right there. So it's early. But yeah,
and I think it's really addressing one of the core problems, right? Discovery and connection to be able to keep track of each other. Like even bringing on new people right now, you bring on your fan base. Like I've had a few people, find me on there and find their way to DeSo, but then they kind of, they get lost and it's like, I don't see their posts and it's a bit hard to stay on top of, nurturing them. So I think what you've done with one is amazing, man. So I just want to do a shout out to everyone watching right now, Twitch and YouTube. I want to invite you all to check it out. Is WUN1.VC, WN.VC. Really simple to set up, Bobby. You've already done a great job and it's just going to get better from here. So visit that if you haven't already. Click I need a card and set yourself up with that ID. I've got mine in my Diamond app profile. And also, if you already have set one up, then post it under this video link, put it in the chat. And that way we can start that networking straight away. If you're watching this live, there's a bunch of others. Let's start collecting. And I'm going to go through the live chat after the show and make sure I add everyone as well to mine. So that'll be a lot of fun. Awesome, man. So let's move on to Aerosol Friends. Like you just brought it up yourself and tell us a little bit more about that. Like how long you've been doing it for?
Well, it's Aerosol Fiends.
Fiends friends.
You know what? But you're not the first person to say that, man. Everyone's like, Aerosol Friends. I love the concept. I'm like, it's actually fiends. Like you're addicted to the fiend culture, So anyways, and that's the thing with one. Sometimes people say wound or, it sounds like that. So it is what it is, right?
That's branding, right? As the branding goes, we lock it in.
Aerosol Fiends, I have deep roots in graffiti culture and street culture since I was 13 years old, you know, and so that was my kind of my foundation with getting into graphic design and you know, now UX UI design and any type of design. That's my bread and butter. I love interior design. I love architectural design, anything, right? Because, you know, well, I don't want to go off course, but with aerosol fiends, so I started in 2005 as a blog, and it's grown from there. And I have connections with some of the, you know, most famous worldwide graffiti artists that have big careers and they're in galleries and stuff, you know, and I'm working on, so with DeSo, I want to create like an NFT marketplace for graffiti art, graffiti collectibles, right? So we're gonna have the old photos from the 90s and 80s, and then we're also those are gonna be one of ones, right? Taken by the photographer gets a cut, the artist in the photo gets a cut, and then Aerosol Fiends gets a cut. So it's a way for everyone to have monetized long-term, you know? So that's one part. And then we're also creating a VR simulator app so you can do graffiti in VR. You know, there's one that already exists, but we're taking it to the next level. So it's amazing, man. There's already a proof of concept out there and it changes everything. Like VR is going to be amazing. Like I'm telling you, people, I think next year will be a big wave, especially when Apple puts out their VR headset. You know, it's gonna really do some things for just in what is it called, like immersive. You know, it's pretty wild. Like I painted with my friends in VR. They're over there in their city, and I'm over here, but we're painting on a wall in VR together, and it's like wow.
And how was it? Was it close to the real experience?
Oh, it's as close to the real thing as possible. It's mind blowing.
For real.
Everything is 95% spot on. And that's from someone who's been doing this for 27 years.
So you get that satisfaction as you're moving through, and
it's incredible.
Yeah,
I look at it like, you know, if you're a skateboarder and you have a skateboard park in your backyard, that's how I feel like VR for graffiti is. Like I can just, you know, be in my house, smoke some weed, and go into VR and paint, and not have to get in my car and leave and go out at night and, you know, risk my freedom.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's part of the game.
That's unreal. And then you can actually run workshops and things, right? You can do all kinds of stuff.
You can do like a live event, you know, a battle with 4 different artists from different parts of the world and stream it live. And then at the end, people can buy that artwork as an NFT. It's going to change the game. I'm telling you, man. I'm excited.
Awesome,
so that's going to be built on DeSo as well.
Absolutely.
And then I have another project too, and you know, it's called Exclusive.
Just before you go to that, Bobby, just before you go to that one, I just want to really acknowledge here, like, one of the things that I've realized as you were talking that I love about you, that because there's something when we first chatted, you just got this vibe, and it reminds me of that part of me from the 80s and those old days, you know, the old school computers and all those things. And that was the, you know, the spray painting, the skateboarding and the bowl, you know, the pools, empty pools and all that kind of stuff of like the 80s and just that kind of old school kind of magic where people were hanging out at the skate park and there was depth in the crews that would hang together and everything. And I feel like it's almost like that energy was ahead of its time. And now that we have the VR and we have the metaverse and all these things, it's such an awesome thing to see it coming alive and people like yourself bringing it to the table.
It's like it's youth culture, you know. Graffiti art was created by the youth, and skateboarding, you know, was the youth. They were surfing and then they went to skateboarding. But you know, growing up in Southern California in the 80s and then being a kid in the 80s and a teen in the 90s was magical. I'm telling you, man. Like me and a bunch of my friends that were on the same age group, we always, it's so what's the word? It's nostalgic, you know. It's like it's timeless, and it's what crafted our adult life, you know. And the sad thing is these kids, you know, I have a 7-year-old son, and they'll never know what the world was like before the internet. They'll never know. It's a wrap, right? You know. So
I have that conversation so many times with my boy who's 11, and just looking back on the times, and I was sharing a story just the other day, like when I was like about his age, I used to sit outside stormwater drains, and my brother who was 6 years older would take him and his mates would go on skateboards into the stormwater drains with spray cans and just go on these massive adventures underground. Like that was like the 80s, you know? Yeah.
Sounds like a
awesome, man. So now that's already, if we just looked at those two things, already a massive impact that you're bringing into this world that we're moving into. But so let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, next one.
Sorry, before I interrupted you. Yeah, it's like we're going to nail off this magic you bring to the table.
My dog is bothering me.
Puppy.
So yeah. So with exclusive club, that is something that I've had on my, like, I have project ideas, right? Every entrepreneur has some on the shelf. They're just there waiting. They're marinating until the time is right. And so, you know, when OnlyFans announced that they were going to take away this now, wherever the news was back then, right? They were going to ban adult content and this and that. It was like a huge outlash. Everyone went crazy. But that woke people up to understanding that you can be deplatformed at any time. Your whole bread and butter, everything you make, whether you're an adult creator or someone else, they can delete your shit and it's a wrap. All your followers are gone. All your customers are gone. Everyone's gone. And that's another thing about why one is so valuable, as far as you owning those people. You know, it's like your own funnel. So with Exclusive Club, you know, we're not doing anything like porn related or anything like that. It's more like a Las Vegas high-end strip club. You know what I'm saying? Like a gentleman's club.
Gotcha.
So I'm thinking crypto gentleman's club, where, you know, it's like a match made in heaven. These guys like money. These girls like money. You know, so we're going to do it with a really tasteful aesthetic and a really nice high quality brand, you know, and I have friends.
That kind of elegance and
you know, like really tasteful, you know, no raunchy stuff. So that's my concept. And I have connections with friends who are big photographers for, like, you know, OnlyFans models and all that whole genre. And I'm going to partner with them and get them to onboard really famous girls from Instagram and stuff into Exclusive Club. And so, like, that's another thing, is all these projects I have, I look at them like they're funnels to get them into DeSo, like a gateway, you know, through us into DeSo, but in a safe way where we hold their hand and focus on UX, you know, and brand and long term. So that's
absolutely
a little intro on that.
No, I think it's it's an incredible onboarding pathway right there, because, like you say, it is like between, like, right, the degen cryptos and all the rest out there, and then you've got, you know, everyone's looking for that place. And, you know, for a lot of people will have opinions, a lot of people have their, you know, their morals and things that they get caught up in. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it's one of the most beautiful things, just seeing that all of these things that didn't quite fit in necessarily into, you know, the mainstream world out there, they're finding their home here. They're finding their connections, and everyone's got a right to explore in the way they want. And I remember kind of what you remind me of, you know, I used to be bartender, performer, all these different things. And, you know, you go to a lot of places, you perform at a lot of places, and, you know, and I remember, you know, there's a lot of strip clubs that are dodgy as hell. You know, they are skanky little places where it's like just the people running it are gangster. It's like, it's a bit feral. But then there was one place here in Perth, which I went to because they were having a famous Cirque du Soleil performer there. Yeah. And when I went, it was the first time I'd been to a club where it felt like I was going to a nice place where people were having fun. There was just as many women as men in the crowd, and they were putting on amazing shows. And there happened to be nudity and the rest, celebrating the female form. And I thought, that is different. And it sounds like that's what you're explaining with what you bring to the table.
She's bugging me. One sec.
Yeah. Sweet. While you're doing that, Bobby, I just want to do a shout out to who have we got tuning in on YouTube. So if you're watching YouTube live, really appreciate you guys being here to support us. So Bobby, we got Matreshka joining in.
What's up, everybody?
What else we got? We got Kanchi, BitClout, Ryan Elf, Sinuous one. Sinuous. Yeah. Michelle Lord, Ali Farahat. And we've got someone going on to DeSo. We've even got DeSo joining in. I think it might be fast, Freddy. Nice. Big shout out, brother. All right, fantastic. So
so that's the thing too. Just to touch back on that, like, you know, sex workers, cam models, that's what drove the internet, like, without a doubt. That was the first payment system ever created. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. If people don't like it, they should just turn it off. You know, so just to say that, you know, like, women and any you know, whatever you want to be, you know, labeled as, it doesn't matter if you're creating content, and you know, and everyone should have this equal rights to that. So
absolutely, man. And I think this is true equality we're talking about, right? Like there's this kind of moralistic idea of equality where it's like only the ones I think should have equality, right? And that's what I'm loving about this metaverse decentralization. It's like, it's organic. And I love you bring this up, because I haven't actually even really processed that properly. You got a really good point, Bobby. Like, I remember when we first started going on the internet, you remember back in the 90s, right? And what was people, what would you look for? You're a teenager. there was two things that most people I knew were looking at. It was either sex and porn, because it was this taboo hidden subject. Finally, we could explore in very unhealthy ways at times back then. But it's a bit better, there's better options these days. And death was the other one. People were always looking at this crazy, right? It was like death and sex.
Yeah.
And that's like the
internet. It's like a I don't know, it's a never-ending rabbit hole of, you lead into anywhere. And even if you dabbled in the dark web, that's a whole other thing. When they show that meme or like the image of like there's like an iceberg and like there's a level and it's like the little tip, but then below, like that's how big the internet is. It's what people use is very, very just the top of the internet, so
just the scratch, man. Absolutely. So considering all that, really it makes sense that that's going to play a part in the birthing of this next phase as well. And I think that comes a lot as well, Bobby. I mean, one thing that everyone can go to is those primal urges. That's what starts life, right? I mean, I know you're a deep thinking man. For everyone watching Bobby, we're going to be touching on his projects and things with all this. But Bobby, I'd love to have deep conversations with you, like over the years to come, and keep going deep with it.
I think life is fascinating, and we're all on a planet in outer space, just existing in this 3D realm. So, the metaverse, have fun doing it. And that kind of goes with just the whole concept of sacred skulls. It goes back to my roots of ancient culture and aliens and life on other planets, and there's like even reincarnation, and I'm really fascinated with ancient Egypt and ancient Sumeria and all these ancient worlds, like even Atlantis and stuff, and really old knowledge of what is this planet. What I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? And then anyone who's experimented with hallucinogens or mushrooms or LSD or any of that DMT, they know that once you unlock, it's really hard to not ask questions, like it's really hard.
It's like the red pill, blue pill. It's a real thing.
Yeah. Some people want that protective mechanism. They're like, I don't want to know. Just give me my news and my TV and I'm good. Like, but it is scary to really go down those rabbit holes, but absolutely. I'm fascinated with it. And I think it's interesting.
And I think that's that kind of right brain, creative, intuitive side, right? That then taps into that. It's almost like a radio tuning into a station. And that's what I feel creation is. That's what I feel being a creator is all about. It's about whether you're a musician, an artist, a poet, a builder, or an architect, it's about finding that resonance, right? Tapping into that kind of higher state and then bringing through inspiration and then manifesting it. And it's beautiful to see that you have that behind you, and I can see it in everything that you do. Your design work really has that extra quality of it. So, Bobby, let's jump straight into that. Now that's a perfect lead up to the Sacred Skulls Secret Society. So, with the Sacred Skull Secret Society, do you want to tell us a little bit about where that came from and how? And I tell you, for people that haven't seen it yet, just before we jump in. This is the landing page, sacredskulls.org, where you can come in, you can see the story, the roadmap, utility, etc. And as you can see, the one virtual card. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the Sacred Skulls? How did that come about and what it's been so far?
Yeah, man. So I remember being in Clubhouse when Farouk and those guys, the early Big Club boys, right? Farouk and them had a Clubhouse room, and they were all monkey avatars, and it was the Bored Ape Yacht Club had just sold out, and they were going ape shit, right? And I was like, what is this? I don't understand what the hell's going on. I was like, this is weird. They were making monkey sounds and just acting reckless, and I was like, I don't know what the hell this is. But then I saw the headlines after that, and then started learning about CryptoPunks, and I have tech friends, from YC. They used to tell me about Crypto Kitties and all these things, when they first started and all this. And it was like foreign to me. I usually I'll be aware of the technology, and I'll watch and I'll listen and I'll just be in the background. And then when I feel that intuitive time to jump in is when I jump in, and I go, because I have so much shit going on in my life. I can't kind of check something out. I have to go all the way in and absorb it like a sponge. So when that came around and I started learning about PFP NFTs, that was this whole new craze, because NFTs with people and all the headlines was one thing, but the PFP part of it was like, wow, I see what I saw on Twitter. Everyone was changing their picture to a cartoon. And it's like, wow, this is really interesting. This is really, I see the community around it, right? And so I started getting it. And then I would go on Ethereum and I'd go on all these other chains and start researching all these PFP series. And like, that's what I do is I like to just go and research the top of any industry. And then I kind of not reverse engineer, but I kind of I see what they're doing. I figure it out, you know, like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that they did that. Oh, that one's doing this. And so I'm like, wow, because I always, you know, I like to jump in when it feels right, like I was saying. So me being an entrepreneur or even a creator or you know, creative, I was like, I can do something with this, you know. And I right away the way my brain works is I visualize, right? It all starts up here in your quantum computer. So I visualize, I have all these files and it's not there in the real world yet, right? So I'm starting to brainstorm, it's creating, you know, and it's like kind of cooking in there. And then I start with these names because I'm really big on names, brands, concepts, you know, like meanings. It's always got to be deeper than just on what you see, you know. There's always got to be more weight behind it. So I started thinking about these names and I came up with some other ones. And then as I'm building it and as I'm reaching out to my certain friends who are, you know, maybe my friend can help me. Well, I was thinking about doing a 2D one. You know, I was thinking cartoons, illustrations, 2D and all this stuff. And then, you know, I have a buddy in Santa Barbara, Jay, who's my partner with Sacred Skulls. And I had originally reached out to him a couple months ago about aerosol fiends. You know, I want to do my VR simulation app. So I was like, maybe you could render out some things in VR, you know, because he's been doing that for 10 years as his main hustle. You know, he has corporate clients. He's really good. And I started talking to him about NFTs, you know, and let's do this and that. And he was already aware of everything, you know, because he has friends in the industry who are also dabbling in NFTs. And if you're a 3D artist, like you cannot hide from NFTs. You're like, what? Digital art on the chain only? I can make money now as a digital artist? You know, it's a game changer. So we started talking, you know, and then everything just started growing up from there and just shooting ideas, having meetings and running this by him and figuring it out as we went. And so then I started, okay, I got to do something with aliens, you know, because I just love ancient civilization. I love the Anunnaki story of the ancient Egypt and all that. And you know, master geneticist gods who like changed our DNA, you know, and humans years ago. So like, you know, we're frequency beings. And so it's all energy.
Absolutely.
So I was like, okay, sacred skulls. And another thing, I'm fascinated with like secret societies. I'm fascinated with like elite, like, you know, all these things that it's just like, you're a member, don't tell nobody, you know, like, and that's one of the things being, you know, into graffiti culture and street culture and growing up, you know, involved in gangs. A lot of my friends are gang members, you know, and so there's a secret type of thing, you know, it's like, we don't care if you can't read the graffiti on the wall. It's not for you. It's for us. This is our culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Sacred Skull, Secret Society. It has the 4 S's and it just, everything just sounded right. You know, you got Bored Ape Yacht Club, you got Antisocial Social Club. And I just like the concept of a long name. You know what I mean? Like, it's neat.
Absolutely.
So that was already the starting point. And then I was thinking, you know, well, we got 3D and what is the metaverse? It's VR, you know, and blockchain and all these things connected. So why not just create a 3D PFP avatar NFT, right? That'll be perfectly positioned when VR does take over in a year or two from now. You know, we can all meet in the metaverse with our sacred skulls, you know, and have meetings there and do some really fun stuff. So, you know, and our roadmap, and I'm going to be updating the website tonight with all of our utility, all of our updated roadmap. We have a lot of shit planned, and I want to create value for our members. That's the thing, is like, your NFT is your membership. You know, the artwork is cool. That's the first part of an NFT series, is the artwork. But then you know, you have the community, you have the utility, and everything else, just like a startup. That's how I look at it. You know, you can't just create the art and launch the product and then bounce. That's just like that's not how it works, you know? So
absolutely,
I'm in it for the long run. This is like a 3-year vision already, and that's the thing about the Chamber of 33, right? You're a member. these 33 Genesis holders will have higher voting rights when we create our DAO, when DeSo makes it available next Q1, right? With the DRC20 tokens, the DAO smart services, all this stuff is coming. So now with us, we have our Chamber of 33, and we're going to create that as a group together. And and another thing is, in our drop, we're going to put aside 10% of all the sales into a treasury, which is 100 DeSo. So there's going to be, we're going to use that as the starting point for our DAO to make decisions. Maybe pay someone to create this or do that, or buy some NFTs together and then flip them. So
fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So Bobby, this is a bit mind blowing, and I hope people that are listening are getting like the full expanse of how deep you think about this before you move into it. And
oh man,
and I have to say that looking at the Sacred Skulls, like that was I was just starting to get into NFTs, because I mean I've always known what they were and around, but I just hadn't been part of the culture, hadn't been part of the community. I'd just been so busy with everything else. And then I saw the Sacred Skulls, and it hit me, like as we've said, we've got a lot of shared interest when it comes to the world and the way it works and the universe. And so something drew me into it, and I jumped on, and I got number 8. So I was stoked to join the crew. Mm-hmm. And it was spending time in that Discord group, in that Chamber of 33 with those, and that I was able to actually taste and feel, in a way, beyond just know the potential of what NFTs can actually do beyond this concept of it's a JPEG, right? And really see, I mean, even just having something to bond over with 32 other people, like just that in this crazy time is such a potent thing. And then on top of that, all the networking, the connections, like you said, we've got Kat in there, we've got Fast Freddy, we've got these other characters that are, amazing, beautiful humans that are incredible creators in their own right. And then you start putting a fund like that can be driven by a secret society like that without being tainted by the noise of the outside, where they can just cultivate ideas and guard them together and bring them to the world. Like, this is big.
Well, that's the thing, is like I love, everyone, there's a lot of like headline readers and stuff like, oh, the community, this and that, but you can say a lot of things, but it's really about your actions, so I really genuinely want to help all of our Sacred Skulls members understand how to get the most value out of DeSo blockchain, or just crypto in general, where we could all share ideas. Because I learned this concept from Fungibles, actually, because he has a private Telegram group called Shroom Cap Club. And so, you buy some of his creator coin, and then you'd be able to get a membership, and then you pay monthly, dues. And what he does is he helps you learn and get you alpha. And there's this drop, and there's this whitelist, and there's this, or he'll have like a Zoom meeting with all of us, and he'll run down how to read the charts and what's a good play and what's this and this and that. And it really educates me on just DeFi in general, decentralized finance. Mm-hmm. And so, and NFTs, I've already minted 3 different NFT series on Ethereum, because I got on the whitelist through him, by finding out about these services before someone else. So that's what I want to kind of bring into Sacred Skulls as well, is the kind of like a crypto mastermind group, where we're gonna help each other create wealth long term. And there's no, it's not financial advice, but I'm just saying that's my goal and that's my vision. Is I want to help people, because I've learned a lot, man. I go down, I mean, I'm a sponge, so I go down the rabbit hole pretty intense, and I study a lot. And so I've helped so many people so someone will create a 1 card, right? And I'll see their founder reward is at like 5%, and they just signed up, and they have like no value. I'm like, yo, you need a lot, you need to put it to 100. Like, he's going to get some bots are going to snipe you. And then, so it's like right away, bad experience, so I've helped already almost a dozen people. They don't know what is a founder reward. They don't even know, like they don't know about creator coins. They don't know about this stuff. And so I'm like, we really need to, provide value for people to help them understand how to navigate this whole new world.
Absolutely, man.
So
that's a whole new world indeed.
Part of it, so
Bobby, just being aware of the time here, and it's because I think you and we are going to need to do these conversations on a more regular basis once we get the building out of the way in the next 6 months.
Sure.
But just going in right now, because with the Sacred Skulls, Secret Society, one of the reasons that we kind of came together to do this is you are about to do the big launch, NFT drop. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. Well, we did our whitelist today in our Discord. We have about 125 members in there right now. 90 of them were not Sacred Skulls members yet. So we did, I guess a raffle or whitelist, and we already chose our 33 winners today. So tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time on sacredskulls.org, we're going to launch our whitelist pre-sale mint, which is 333. So the total number is 999 of the whole series of generative series. And we're going to do 1/3 of that tomorrow. So 333 will be available for the whitelist people. There's 66, there's the Chamber of 33 already have whitelist as a utility. And then we got an additional 33 people. So that's tomorrow, or wherever you're at in the world, right? But Pacific Standard Time, so 12 noon, New Year's Eve. And then on the next day, on New Year's Day, on January 1st at 12 noon, probably be about 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, we're going to open up to public. So there'll be 666 of them still left. And there's no cap. So they're going to go for one DeSo each. And, that's kind of where we're at. So 10% will go back into the creator coin. You remember when we first, one of the utilities of a Chamber of 33 was I airdropped 0.1 coin to everybody just off the top. And then everyone got able to be on our pre-sale for our coin, and then when the Coinbase listing came, everyone was like a bloodbath. People were selling everywhere. So, but we weren't the only ones that were hit. Everyone was hit by that. That was exciting as hell. But you're one of our top holders now. So when we, drop 1,000 NFTs and let's say they sell eventually, that's 10% of all those will go back into the coin. So that's already that's gonna be good for our coin holders.
Absolutely, man. It's you really have created a beautiful system that as a person who's come in myself into this, I felt like at home and welcomed. I felt like this is a family, not someone just trying to make a buck on flipping NFTs, which, hey, nothing wrong with that. But, this is a really awesome thing, like you say, with the profit share and all these other different things that come into play. So now on that, Bobby, that's probably an important part here is when you launch this, there is so much in what's about to come out here in this drop. And we just saw with the fucked up cats that you and I both have been having a blast with, and another example of community coming together. Just how quick they can go. Everyone was like, oh, I think if we go this rate, maybe we might be able to get it by New Year's Day, sell out. And it just ramped up and went out the door in perfect timing. So there's a big gap
people
there.
Understood the value there, because that fucked up cats is really awesome, man. That's like I own probably about 60 or 70, not fucked up cats, but just in general NFTs on DeSo a lot. I try and support projects and I try and get involved somehow, some way. But there's a couple that I'm just like, especially fucked up cats, like, wow, this shit is amazing. I was like, never welcome in the team. He's a great designer, aside from just launching an NFT series, he's also a designer by trade. So the aesthetic, the brand, the user experience on the minting website, the artwork with the little cats have like little weapons and they're like blood. And it's just like, I resonate towards this. This is awesome. These are like little gangster ass cats and there's going to be a game. So, I was excited to support them.
And that's awesome as well. The cooperation between like seeing you go in there rather than keeping separate, their competition. When I saw you join in there and start taking part in the fun, I thought, I love this community, the way everyone's coming together and joining. So now, as part of loving the community, you have put together a little prize pack for a little giveaway we're going to do. So everyone watching, as soon as this episode finishes, I am going to be jumping in, editing and cutting out this section of the conversation to announce the generative drop that's about to happen on New Year's Day. And what we would love is all your support in sharing this clip out. We're going to be posting it to Clout Forum, tagging Bobby and Sacred Skulls and everyone in it. And then we would love your help in making it go viral across the platform and share it out across into other places, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you can share it. Just get it out there, because the more people we can bring here, the more everyone wins. And to say thank you for that, Bobby, you've put together, was it 3 digital mint passes, I believe?
There's 5. There's 5 mint passes for Clout Forum to be able to give away to whoever, we wins that.
And here it is right here. So as Bobby's saying, basically, when you share this out there, then you will go into the running to be picked for one of 5 mint passes. And so, Bobby, we were talking about this and kind of, I think, made a bit of a quick decision just before. I think 48 hours, what I think we were talking about. So let's make it 48 hours to just pump that out. And then once that's done, we'll draw the winner. We'll draw the winners and give you those mint passes so you can mint yourself a Sacred Skulls NFT. Was that about right, Bobby? Did I get that right?
Well, we might want to announce it before January 1st somehow within the next week, because if you know, I don't expect us to sell out, but I'm saying, like, if we give it to them late and then they're gone, they're like, well, where's the mint pass? You know, so
good point.
The public sale is 12 noon on January 1st Pacific Standard Time. So if we can somehow get it to them before then that would be great, you know.
Gotcha. All right.
Basically,
so
in your world, about 24 hours, you know. So
I tell you what, everyone watching, just get sharing straight away. Don't delay. Get it out there. We are, as you were saying, Bobby, true entrepreneurs with the Web 3.0. We do things on the fly, spontaneously, adapt to what happens. It's what you got to get good at in the blockchain world, right? So what we'll do, crank it out, share it out there, and then we will stretch it to as far as we can. And then we'll have to call it, send the winners out. And those people will get those mint passes. You'll get tagged in the winning post, and then just go jump in as soon as that opens and make sure you mint yourself.
Yeah. So what it does is it's basically a free NFT. So we put your wallet key in our database, and you get to mint for $0. You know, for one. So that's how it works.
So that's a 1 DeSo prize off the bat, which as soon as these things sell out, I mean, the prices automatically go up anyway. And I think your collection here is gonna definitely be one that keeps growing. So
yeah, I can't wait to show
Bobby.
them on the artwork. We've been, like, we put little sneak peeks here and there, but man, we've added some cool stuff. And like I said, Jay, my partner with Sacred Skulls, he's a beast in 3ds Max and working with environments and renderings, and you know, he really did a good job on this one. So pretty excited.
It's incredible work for sure.
And Ali, my co-founder with One, he also built out our mint process and our mint flow on our website. We were inspired by Fucked Up Cats, and their minting was amazing. So we got some cool shit in there for everyone.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, Bobby. I always get a little bit carried away in my conversations because I love the people I get to talk to so much, but I'm going to have to hand it over now. So I'm handing over to Alex, who has got his traditional questions. Alex always likes to bring in some fun. And so Alex, take it away. Everyone watching, we're going to be here a little bit longer after this. So if you've got any questions for Bobby, chuck them in the YouTube chat there. I'll be looking at those while Alex is talking and bring them in at the end before we close off the podcast. All right, Alex, all yours.
Cool. Oh, thank you, man. First of all, I'd like to say that this conversation was incredible, and I enjoyed every minute that I was listening, and I saw so big bump and just a lot of noise in our YouTube chat, and it was awesome. Thank you, everyone, for chatting here, and you just creating this atmosphere for us as well. Thank you so much. Bobby, I'd like to start my part from asking you and checking how well you know yourself on DeSo.
Okay.
So, first question, the birth date of your account?
March 23rd.
Yeah, that's right.
Day one, when they opened up. I was trying to get the password, but I wasn't successful.
How many times did you change account name?
Shit. I think maybe 2 or 3, maybe, because, you know, I lost my seed phrase in the beginning of my original BobbyDigital account. So yeah, man, that's a whole long story. So I changed another account and I had to change it back once I realized I had access to it. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's right.
It's almost right. It was 5 times.
Oh,
and
5 times shit.
From BobbyDigital to Woon, from Woon to BobbyDigital, from BobbyDigital lowercase to uppercase. So yeah.
Yeah. OCD much?
Yeah. Let's get to the next question. How many coin holders with 1 coin or more do you have?
Shit. Wait, what do you mean? Did I hold, or under BobbyDigital?
No, it means your account. So how many coin holders of your coin do you have?
Oh, I don't know.
Have 1 or more coins?
I don't know. I'd say maybe 20. I don't know. 15?
No. There are a lot of guys who has a little less than one coin, but those guys.
Oh, they hold one coin, you meant?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no clue. I don't. I have 100 things going on.
Yeah, you have 5 guys who has one coin, and
Sweet.
yeah, do you have any guesses who they might be?
Shit. Well, I know. I think Creator Fund, maybe.
Yep.
Mario and um, maybe Fungibles.
100%.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I think I can name a few more. It's Rico, Luis Eddy, Woon, Ali Farhat.
Oh yeah, Luis and Ali. Yeah, man.
So don't be very harsh on yourself. It's really tough questions. So, but I think it will help us to create the culture when you could know your account better, coin holders, and other stuff. And my last question for you, man. You are a big fan of NFT and you are the leader on DeSo Elite for sure. But could you say to me what NFT you don't have in your NFT gallery? Rhodia Reptilians, Fucked Up Cat, Octopus, Badass Baboons, or Cloudpunk? Which one of them you don't have in your NFT gallery?
Can you tell me one more time the list?
Yeah. Rhodia Reptilians, Fucked Up Cat, Octopus, Badass Baboons, or Cloudpunk?
Definitely the first one. I couldn't make out what it was, but I know I don't have that because I have the other 4.
One more time, right?
The first one you said, I don't think I have that. I know I have the other 4.
Road Reptilians. You have this.
Oh, I do. Also, I have all 5.
Yeah. Do you have Cloudpunk?
Yeah, I do. I have one in there.
Is it on your Bobby Digital account or maybe on?
It's on Bobby Digital account. Yeah.
Right?
I bought it on secondary. I try to own one of every single thing, like.
Yeah.
I
You're a
don't
top collector,
have a
man.
couple. Yeah.
You're a top collector. I just failed to find Cloudpunk on Polygram, but maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's just
you got
the way
there.
Polygram has showed me it. But anyway, you have all these NFTs and it's awesome. So you have all biggest ones. And
yeah, I like Rowdy Reptilians too. They're awesome. I like the concept.
When I was scrolling your Fucked Up Cats, I was just shocked how many.
I have 33.
Yeah.
I believe in their project, man. I think, dude. Once DeSo gets listed on Coinbase NFT marketplace, it's gonna change the game for our NFTs over here. It's gonna change everything.
Absolutely, agree 100%.
They have all the ingredients for a successful PFP series. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to shift in the more personal questions, and there will be at least one very sensitive. So if you will be not scared to answer it, feel free to refuse. No worries about it. So my first question: if you would find a jar with a gene, what 3 wishes would you ask him to fulfill for you?
A job with what?
With gene.
Who's Gene?
You mean a genie?
Yeah, genie.
Oh, yeah, like 3 wishes?
Yeah. Gene's the original word, yeah.
Okay, so what is the question again? If you can maybe.
Yeah, if you would find a jar with genie, what 3 wishes would you ask him to do?
Oh man, I like this question. One of my wishes would be to talk to animals, to communicate with animals, like actually like Dr. Dolittle, like actually talk to them. Another one would be to be immortal, to not die. I want to live forever if I could be a cyborg. And I think the other one would be, that would be with health, right? The third one.
May I advise you?
Sure.
Maybe you would consider to make immortal someone else, so you won't be alone.
I'll be with the robots, dude.
Shit, Alex is saving you there, Bobby.
Alex, you'll be my 3rd wish. No, it would definitely be a female, that's for sure.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. So your 3rd wish, what would it be? What would the 3rd wish be?
I don't know. Maybe to time travel. I think that would be cool.
Wow, that's cool, Rich, man.
Definitely not money, because that money's not real, you know.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, no problem.
So, and this is the toughest one.
Sure.
If there would be a nude beach DeSo party, who would you want to see there?
I don't know anyone in particular, but it'll definitely be a girl. I wouldn't want any guys to go there. That's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
What
I don't
kind
want to.
Yeah, you say.
Yeah, no problem. I don't want to name anybody, but yes.
Yeah, I totally get it. That's why I said feel free to
Sure.
avoid this question. What kind of car are your favorite ones? Do you like sport cars? Do you like retro cars? Or maybe
I want to collect cars when I'm wealthy. You know, I think cars are amazing, especially classic cars. I grew up. My parents were into lowriders when they were young. It's like a Southern California Hispanic culture when you trick out an old classic car, with the rims and hydraulics and all that. I like classic cars, but I like luxurious cars too. I mean, I don't know. I'm not too much into fast cars because I don't want to die. It's very dangerous. But yeah, I think either a classic car or a luxury car.
Yeah, I see. Thank you so much for sharing. And maybe you have some specific brand you like.
Well, my dream lowrider car is a '59 Chevrolet Impala with a rag top, so you can take down the top. Two-tone color paint, all chromed out, everything. So I'll have one of those one day. But I also want a Bugatti. I think those cars are amazing, or like a Rolls Royce, like a Phantom or something. There's some really amazing luxury cars out there, man. They're like really well crafted. They're works of art, basically.
Yeah. And do you think there will be some sort of serious NFTs devoted to cars? Because I haven't seen one yet. I mean, where you can use it for, I don't know, for paying.
I'm sure they will, because right, that's basically just a smart contract. It's a ledger on the blockchain. So I've already seen things where real estate is getting into NFTs, and event tickets and just things, or even your dental records could be an NFT. Everything's going to be disrupted by blockchain, basically, because it's transparent. It's a contract available anywhere, anytime, so.
Yeah, and do you see cigarette skulls can be drawn on the car or something like this, or this kind of serious item?
Drawn on the car?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll have a Sacred Skulls alien vehicle, futuristic or something. That'd be cool.
I mean, so the person you could collaborate with some sort of auto shop who is doing the painting on the cars, and so you could, if someone bought your NFTs, so they could go to this company, to this auto shop, and they will paint this NFT.
Oh yeah, you're right. Or you could even have a car, and whoever is an NFT holder can maybe borrow it for a week, or something. There's a lot of things, like even Airbnb is starting to do stuff like that. There's some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, this is another topic for another podcast for sure. The topic is too deep, I think. Yeah, thank you for sharing your thoughts, man.
Sure.
So I have 3 more questions for you. Favorite place?
Favorite place?
Yep.
I mean, I was born in Hawaii, and I haven't been back there since I was a child. So I would like to have a home in Hawaii on an island. I haven't really traveled much. But yeah, I'd say Hawaii would be a favorite place.
And maybe you have
Bobby,
some.
I'd love.
Yeah, Mark.
Sorry, Alex. I was just going to say, Bobby, I'd love to come visit you in Hawaii at that place. So let's make that happen.
Yeah, I was born in Oahu, Honolulu. So
awesome. No. I think this place is incredible, and yeah, if there will be
paradise,
a chance, I would visit it for sure.
Yeah, man.
Let's make DeSo beach party. Maybe nude, maybe not.
That's so European.
Yeah. Yeah, but speaking about the places, maybe you have some real estate on the moon, or maybe you are going to put some land on the Mars.
I would like to go to space, maybe. I think what I would like to do would go and is it Virgin Galactic that'll take you on a
Yeah.
on a ride, like on
Yeah, yeah,
our, you know, like not in space but kind of right there, just to get. I want to look at the Earth from as high as I can be, because when you see the Earth like that, you understand that we're just on a spaceship in outer space. Like this is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're barely in a galaxy. There's millions and billions of galaxies. So don't even get me started on that rabbit hole.
Yeah. My point was that there are some agencies that are selling some land pieces on the moon, and
yeah,
so
I'd probably sell it on the metaverse first.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man. So I think you are great. You have a great taste in music, and you love really good music. So I'm wondering, what's your favorite music band or a singer?
Man, music to me is it's basically the soundtrack to your life. So I love all types of music. It just depends on the mood I'm in. Like I grew up on oldies. My mother and father listened to oldies and Motown, even like old school. But I love everything, dude. Like I love rock. I love death metal. I love, you know, heavy metal. I love you know, soul music, R&B, hip hop, everything. Even classic stuff, Mozart, Beethoven. It just depends on the mood, you know.
Yeah.
I really like what's his name who does all the soundtracks for every blockbuster movie. What's his name? Hans Zimmer.
Yeah,
You know
Hans Zimmer.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. The music for Interstellar is something.
Oh yeah, dude, Interstellar and yeah, I'll put that on sometimes when I'm working, just because it's a vibe, you know.
Yeah, I hope he will join DeSo soon.
I think in due time, everyone who's interested in owning their identity long term, you know, because DeSo is a different blockchain in of itself. It's not speculation. It has so much utility. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's far more than an altcoin. It's way beyond that. So that's why you see DeSo trading going up when everything else is going down. It's like it's standing alone, you know. So it's barely beginning, dude. I look at DeSo 3 years in advance. I'm not even right here right now. I'm looking 3 years. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely, I think this is the right way to do, because now we are seeing a lot of startups and a lot of projects just arising in metaverse space, and they're all saying about social aspects and so on and so forth, but they don't have this basic. They don't have this kind of technology.
One thing that I forgot to mention in our interview right now is one of the 20 teams that received a grant from DeSo Foundation. So we got money from them, and we're going to look to collect 3 months of solid data and use that to go and raise a big seed round where DeSo Foundation will lead it for us. So, you know, our target with one is like summer 2022. That's when we'll really feel like we'll be ready to get those numbers up to like 6 figures of daily actives, you know, like that's our vision, and that's where we're going. So it feels good to have the support from DeSo Foundation, you know.
Absolutely. Octane Fund that they set up specifically for this purpose is just amazing tool to support guys like you who has solid background, who has a solid project and the vision for it. And this is where people are building the future for the industry, for sure. It's not just
because that's the thing people forget is like Nader and the core team, they're building the protocol. It's up to us to build the tools and the platforms and create content and get people here, you know. Like they have a role in there, but it's mostly they built this framework. Now here, guys, go and do something with it, you know.
So, yeah, absolutely agree. They're preparing environment for us, and we need to find our places there.
Yeah, they give us the tools. Now we just got to run with it.
Yeah. So my last questions will be about two favorite persons on DeSo. It's about you, and it's about Catherine Dean for sure. Because I just adore her so much, and I couldn't not to ask you these questions. Cool. So if you could go to her New Year party, what kind of gift would you give to her?
To who?
To Catherine Dean.
Um,
I know
if I
you liked the podcast with her. And
Oh yeah,
so
yeah. It was really cool. It was a
that's
lot of
why I'm
energy.
asking this question, because I
Yeah,
know you can come up with some good idea for.
I know what I would do is I would give her a book on some ancient stuff, ancient knowledge. I know she really digs that kind of stuff, and she's an
Yeah.
actress, so she's always reading scripts. So I'm sure she likes to read.
Absolutely. And what gift would you like to receive from her? Maybe
Oh,
a
I have no
retro car.
idea.
So
I
change book for a car.
a car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, trade.
Retro
That doesn't
car.
sound fair. Yeah, maybe whitelist on her NFT series when she drops one. That would be cool.
Maybe you would ask her for Impala from Supernatural.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, just kidding, for sure. So thank you so
Cool.
much. I think I've covered everything that I wanted, and thank you for being open and honest with me.
Yeah, man, that's all you can be, right? You got to be your true self. People don't like you, then oh well, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Cool, appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Mark?
Awesome.
Take it
All
away,
right,
Mark.
fantastic. Yeah. Here's Johnny. Awesome, Alex. Thanks, man. And Bobby, look, again and again, I'll say this a million times, the conversation is going to go deeper and deeper. And what I wanted to bring up is we've had a couple of bits of fan art come out. So we've got some memes already done. And so I want to share those on the screen for you, Bobby.
Great.
You got your fan club. Here we go. And the first one is amazing Night 10.
Hey, that's awesome. Hell yeah.
How sweet is that, man? That's wicked. BobbyDigital42 conceptualizing the lore behind sacred skulls.
That sounds about right, dude. That's pretty hilarious. That's a good one. Shit. He even used his own NFT in there. That's great.
Nice work, man. That's brilliant. So I reckon we should make that conversation happen and take that one deeper one day. And we have Laudable, who has come in with Mark Bentley and BobbyDigital42 dropping some deep thoughts here. Man, I can't believe how fast the community move on these things. Like meme culture is one of the most fascinating things where it's like they capture this moment.
That's how you communicate, GIFs and memes are hilarious. And, when they first started coming out years ago, I was like, I don't get it. And then once I got it, I was like, well, that's how you communicate through visual and text. It's hilarious. There's some really good meme people on DeSo, and we probably should do a Sacred Skulls meme giveaway or something, something cool, because I think it helps with community and engagement, and everyone likes to laugh. It's hilarious.
Right. Yeah. Laughter, I think, I'm a big advocate, man. Laughter fixes everything. It's the medicine, for shame. It's a medicine for so many things. And it's when we lose laughter, we're in trouble. And so the meme culture is amazing.
I do some random shit to make people laugh. I think it's good for your soul,
Damn straight to that. Hey, well, meme lord, look, my mum on TV. You made it. So I've got one question for you from the YouTube group, and then we probably will start winding this in. Okay. And that question is actually from a dear friend of mine, Jason Bart, who's over here in Western Australia. And he says, I would love to be involved in a SSSS mastermind group, learning from masters like Bobby. I see this going further and further the more I'm here. And he's asking, what are Bobby's? So what's your top 3 tips, Bobby, for getting started? And Jason, I'm going to just jump in and assume. And when he comes over for my New Year's Eve festivities tonight, Jason, you better be coming. You can tell me if I got it right. Nice. But what's your top 3 tips for getting started in this kind of NFT creator world? Because it's a bit overwhelming. People come in as such a strange concept.
The first and foremost that I've learned is do your own research. Always do your own research. Always, always, always. People want to just read headlines and jump in, and then they get taken advantage of. So you have to research anything you get into. You need to understand it before you actually play the game, because you're just sitting here. It's like you go to Vegas and you just throw money down. You're gonna lose it. You need to understand the strategy behind it. So do your own research. And I think another one is I love learning from people who spend their whole lives learning that topic. That's how I learn. Like I find someone who's been studying that thing for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And I learn from what they do, and not not so much, it's very tricky. You might call someone who might be a snake oil salesman, but I think if you have that intuitive antenna to understand who's actually genuine and who's a fraud, then that's another thing. I usually surround myself with people that are very smart and somehow provide value for them without asking for any value in return, because I think it's important. I think you can go a long way in life if you just add value for people. That's it. So, I mean, I guess that's probably two. But in particular with NFTs, I think you have to look at the team behind the NFT or the artist behind the NFT. Like, some people they come to DeSo and 1 week later they're like selling their NFTs. Hey, everyone, buy my NFT, buy my NFT, buy my NFT. Like, like that. So Gary V, right? He has this really good strategy. It's called jab, 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 right hook, and it's like give, then ask. A lot of people want to go and just ask right away. Give me this, do this for me, buy this, go there. That's not how life works. So you have to be patient. Patience is important. That's what I could say. People that want quick gains, pumps and dumps, all that stuff is not going to last long term. So
yeah.
And another thing,
Man,
just for Web3 in general, everything you say is on the chain. So something might come back to you years later and haunt you. So just be aware that everything is transparent. Everyone can see everything. So be careful how you move.
Right. And it's that thing of it's like those little white lies, so all the fairy tales telling how those little white lies always come and bite you on the ass, and they grow into big things over time. And that's what I'm loving about this kind of the blockchain and where we're going is it brings more awareness, to be aware of how you bring yourself into the world, because it's there, so the more authentic we can be, the more transparent.
But we live in a world now where your in real life identity is the same as your online identity, unless you have an anonymous account or something, or like a persona or a character.
Who would do that? Bobby Digital.
Yeah, well, that's been my nickname since the '90s with my skateboarder friends, and we used to listen to Wu-Tang a lot. So Bobby Digital, and I'm into computers,
sweet.
So they were like, Bobby Digital, that's your name. I'm like,
yeah,
right on.
Yeah,
so it stuck with me and it fits.
Absolutely. And I think this is what you just shared is real good wisdom. And I think, Alex, we're going to have to clip that and share that as well. I think we've got a few gold little nuggets we can share from this. I know. And one of those is because I've seen a lot of NFT projects, they see the success like with what you've already done so far with the fucked up cats and with others like that. And they think, oh, I can do great art. And they do these beautiful images and they do great collections and they just put it up and you see them getting just like 3 likes or something. And it's a little bit heartbreaking, but I realized once I started getting involved, once I started learning about what goes on behind it, that there is so much more to it. Having the function, having the community, and like you say, give, that left, right. I think, and Gary V seems to know what he's talking about when it comes out.
Jab, right hook.
Jab, right hook.
Like always try and add value for people, but you don't do it with expecting anything in return. I think the universe will karma is a real thing, and if you actually just put out what you put out is what you get in return, whether it's good energy, bad energy, whatever it is, it's going to come back to you,
Absolutely.
It might not be an instant, but it eventually will make its way back to you. So
amen to that. So as we're just in these last couple of minutes, one last question that I'd like to ask.
Let me let my dog in. She's barking.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Saying, let me in. Go lay down. All right. She's been barking for like 5 minutes out there.
Oh, little puppy. You didn't hear anything on the mic, man. Your mic's holding up well. So the question I've got is there's a lot of artists. I know a lot of creators out there, some incredible artists. In fact, Jason Bart, who just asked that question, good friend of mine, we're looking at connecting with some amazing NFT artists and trying to get them to look at DeSo and what's happening on here. So to an NFT artist or just artists and creators in general that have the potential to create good NFT collections and communities, what would you say to them in the sense of what the opportunity is here on DeSo right now? And would you recommend coming in and building on here right now or holding off a bit? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, there's a lot to that, but one of the biggest benefits I've minted on Ethereum and I've done things over there and the gas fees are insane. And it's really a turnoff for me. Like getting charged more in gas fee than actually the item you're buying is like wild. And so on DeSo, there's little to none of that. Barely. You don't even notice it. It's like micro nanos or some shit.
Yeah.
But I think it's still early, with our NFTs. But I think the best thing you could do is create a presence before you drop some kind of product or service. You need to have people. You need to know people. You need to that's one of the things too, is on DeSo, on Diamond app, you have to go and engage with people's posts. It's a lot of work, but it pays off. If you go and like someone, I give out diamonds, so many diamonds all the time, because people appreciate it, and it goes a long way if just even giving someone 10 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents. It's like, it's cool. It's like, I've been using social media my whole life, and just in the last 9 months, I probably made more. I've definitely made more than any other social network, because when I made money on other social media, it was because I sold clothing, or I sold some kind of product for my brand, which takes a whole, this is just all right here digital, so it's really cool. But awesome, one thing about me too is I did about 3 to 4 months of research on PFP NFTs before I even launched Sacred Skulls, so I can understand the whole game,
Awesome. Now, Bobby, I appreciate that, man. You've offered some great advice on all of this, and really
with
enjoyed the
DeSo,
conversation.
The NFTs, we have the social aspect built into our NFTs. It's crazy. You can mint your posts. Like, you can't do that anywhere else.
That is true, man. It's between the costs, what you can do with the posting and everything else, and not to mention what's to come. It's an incredible thing to get started in. And what dawned on me as well just the other day, and it's a bit silly, but like when looking at Fucked Up Cats and getting involved there, and when looking at the generative drop you're about to put here as well, really, in a sense, the only thing an outside person interested in buying one of your NFT collection needs to do is just have a DeSo wallet with DeSo in it. They don't need to be on the BitClout, Diamond app, or any of those. They don't have to take part in anything else. They could literally go in, hit the mint button, sends to their wallet, and then they'll need to use an app to accept it. But it's a great way of bringing people into the DeSo community as well, without them neading to even really know much about what it's all about. If you've got good quality NFTs.
It's definitely an easy entry into crypto and Web3, being on DeSo. And then that's another thing, is it's really, like, a lot of people, other people complain a lot that there's, those people, but I'm a long-term player, and we're only 9 months into this shit. 9 months, dude. That's like, and things move fast, but 9 months into this thing, it's so early. I really don't see anything really big happening, like big, for another 3 months, until we get all these other apps being built. And we need to have like a real unicorn that can not duplicate Twitter, not duplicate Instagram, not duplicate these things, but create a whole new, like what Snapchat did when they changed the game, and then Musically, which was TikTok, they created a whole new product. It's different than any, like, not just normal social. We need some cool shit, something that's really innovative. Just even in Web 2 alone is innovative, but it needs to be built on DeSo. That's what's going to take us to the moon. I'm telling you right now,
Amen to that. I think that's the mic drop moment right there. I think you nailed it, Bobby. We're doing it. We're doing it. And, just a reminder, 9 months, everyone out there, there's something else you might know that takes 9 months to birth. And it's the human baby, right? Yes. And that birthing process, there's contractions, right? Like when a baby comes out, it ain't coming out on a slip and slide. There's the intense breathing. There's an intense process. And it's the same, like you mentioned at the start of this podcast, around startups and things. Like there's a lot more to starting.
But we have,
than it seems
all the DeSo OGs is like, it seems like a family, we're all just strangers on the internet, connected through something we believe in. And I think that's really empowering, because we are the ones that are going to take this to the next level. So,
I'm seeing an image, I'm seeing a vision, Bobby, of like the core team in the center, and we're like the doulas, the midwives around the outside, helping actually just protect the birthing mother that's giving birth to this amazing project.
I'm really protective of DeSo. I'm really protective of DeSo and the core team, because people don't understand what they're doing behind the scenes. It's fucking amazing. So.
Yeah, I feel the pain. Like when it's like, oh, easy. It's not easy what they're doing out there. Like, let's give them some space to breathe, And then you see when he drops, Nada dropped yesterday, the what's lined up. It's like, oh my God. To do what they're saying, they must have been real busy. All right, man. Fantastic. Hey, Bobby, again, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, really appreciate you coming on. Really appreciate everything you're doing in this community you bring to the table. You're not just an amazing creator and the rest, you're also an incredible human, an amazing thinker. I'm stoked to be part of the Chamber of 33, and I hope everyone does check out the Sacred Skulls Secret Society generative drop. And remember, everyone.
thanks to
replay will be
you,
out there to
and
share.
thanks to Alex for having me. It was really cool, and you know, you're really easy to talk to, so you know, you made it easy for me. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Pleasure, man.
Amazing.
Thank you, Bobby, so
Awesome.
much.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, Alex. Thanks, man. Everyone, that's it from us. So we're gonna now seal this up, and I'll get that little short video shared. Remember, all the details will be on the post. Get it in there. Get your entry so that you can win yourself a free mint pass, which is a free NFT worth 1 DeSo, and in the future might buy one of Bobby's favorite cars. So with that, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next round.
All right, later on. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.